Greetings, programs, and welcome back to a whole new year of the gamification, games and movie news, and other things, of course. But this is just going to be talking about all the stuff that's happening in the wide world of entertainment and stuff like that. So I want to get right into it, guys. But first off, I want to apologize for being away for so long. I'm kind of recovering from a bit of a cold, so bear with me on that. I hope you're doing all well. But let's get into it, okay? Because there's plenty of stuff to talk about, and I'm excited to get into it. So we start with the first segment that I like to call new news. This is good news. Not always. News number one. The Tomb Raider reboot movie, I guess it was called, is getting a sequel. This is from pushsquare.com, so let's get into it. The original Tomb Raider movie was a faithful, but apparently forgettable, I haven't seen it actually, retelling of Crystal Dynamics' franchise reboot, and it seems it was successful enough to spawn a sequel. There you go, they're doing this, yeah. That's it! No, I'm just kidding. Alicia Vikander, who's the actor from the previous film, will reprise her role as the PS1 icon in a brand new big screen adventure scheduled to start filming in April 2020 ahead of its 21st of March 2021 release, I believe, according to Geek Vibes Nation. Was that it? Yes, Geek Vibes Nation. Shooting will take place in England, Finland, and Beijing, with Ben Wheatley taking the directorial reins from the wonderfully named Raw Uthaug. That's a great name. The plot will apparently be based on both Rise of the Tomb Raider and Shadow of the Tomb Raider, with the script incorporating more supernatural elements than its predecessor. There you go. So that's a good kind of news. News number 2. System Shock 3 development staff reportedly no longer with the studio. This is from gamesindustry.biz. So this is kind of some of that bad news. Development of System Shock 3 has reportedly crawled to a halt, and many of the staff have been laid off. As reported by Video Games Chronicle, the future of System Shock 3 is uncertain, as many senior staff have also left the company in recent months. While Other Side Entertainment has remained silent on the issue, some former staff have shared their experiences online. One anonymous post on RPG Codex said that, quote, "Everyone on the content side is no longer with the studio," end quote, and went on to claim that the team was critically behind with development. The anonymous poster suggested that the near total collapse of the publisher, Starbreeze Studios, was partly to blame for the current situation. In December 2018, Starbreeze was facing, I guess the word is, insolvency, and sold the publishing rights back to Other Side a few months later. If Starbreeze hadn't gone into crisis, I think we would have delivered something interesting with some fresh and innovative gameplay. This is from that anonymous employee, I guess. But a much smaller game than what people were expecting, and inevitably disappointing for a sequel to such a beloved franchise. Interesting. So like, hey, if we actually did something, it was going to be smaller, though interesting. So, cool. Former community manager Sam Lowencott confirmed the veracity of the post over on the Other Side Entertainment forums, and said there have been other layoffs previously at the studio. Quote, "Having played the internal System Shock 3 demo," so there was a demo already made, "I know the Austin team worked their asses off and made some stunning progress in the past couple of months. It hurts to see many of these developers out of a job on a project they worked so hard on. Some of the developers still haven't found full-time work since June," end quote. So that's pretty disappointing because I know there's a lot of people out there that were really psyched for System Shock 3. But apparently it's either going to go, from the sounds of this article, it's going to either fall by the wayside or just fall into obscurity, I guess you could say, right? I was like, hey, we didn't get anything finished, so I guess, and we don't have employees to really work on it, so maybe it's not going to happen. So that's a shame. News number 3. Sony's seriously bringing its big guns to PAX East this month. February. Wow. This is also from pushsquare.com. Sony may not be attending E3 2020. Yes, they did announce that earlier, late last year, I believe. Or it could have been early this year, but I believe it was late last year. But it promised it would participate in many other consumer events around the globe. And it's not messing around at PAX East 2020. The Japanese giant is showcasing a plethora of PlayStation 4's biggest releases, including The Last of Us Part 2 and Final Fantasy VII Remake. There's a full list. I'll put a link down if you want to see what games are coming out for PAX East. But I just want to read out a couple of them. Below, Dreams is going to be playable. Doom Eternal is going to be playable. Final Fantasy VII Remake, obviously. Last of Us Part 2, obviously. Marvel's Iron Man VR. That was delayed because they were having problems with it, apparently. But that's going to be playable at PAX East. So there you go. Neo 2 is going to be playable. That's going to be awesome. Persona 5 Royale. Remnant from the Ashes, Predator Hunting Ground. So that's just to name a few. So if you actually see the entire list, because that's only about a handful of them, but there's going to be, I don't know, maybe 15 or 20 something. It's quite an extraordinary lineup, spanning everything from blockbusters through to indies and everything in between. Some of the highlights that jump out to us include, Doom Eternal, Spelunky 2, and Last of Us Part 2. If you want to play these demos, you'll have to book sessions using the Experience PlayStation app. So, and also getting quick because they'll be snatched up like crazy. So that's it. No, I'm just kidding. News number 4. Disney wants to reimagine its IP for video games. This is from gamersindustry.biz as well. Disney is seeking more partnerships with game developers and publishers following the success of Marvel's Spider-Man and Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Speaking at the 2020 DICE Summit, the company's senior VP for Games and Interactive Experience, Sean Shoptaw, that's an interesting name, reiterated that Disney's focus when it comes to the games industry is in licensing out its IP. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Shoptaw told developers his role is to empower you to do really unique things with our catalogue, adding, "We want to tap into the power of creatives across the industry." He offered the two aforementioned titles as examples of the freedom game makers could have when working with Disney's own IP, which includes Star Wars, Marvel, and now various 20th Century Fox properties. Which, funny enough, is actually just called 20th Century Studios now. They took out the Fox part of it. Marvel's Spider-Man by Insomniac Games has sold over 13 million copies and is the fastest selling first-party title in PlayStation history. Wow, I did not know that. Shifting 3.3 million units in the first 3 days. 3. The game reinvents Spider-Man and many of his enemies and has even crossed over with the comics and Sony's Into the Spider-Verse movie. Well, that was more just a skin change kind of thing, you know. The more recent Jedi Fallen Order was one of the biggest selling games of last year and is expected to soon reach 10 million copies sold. Whew. It was developed as part of the exclusive publishing deal with EA and tells an original story set after the prequel trilogy. I also want to give Jedi Fallen Order and Respawn congratulations because at the DICE Awards they won Best Adventure Game. So congratulations to them. And it was definitely they earned it because it was a fantastic game. In both cases, Shoptor said an important aspect of the project was original storytelling and developers reimagining established Disney-owned characters and settings. Shoptor invited developers to come and play with the company's franchises, adding, "We want to dream big and look forward to all the things we could do together." Disney notably pulled out the video game space back in 2016 following the struggles of their Toys to Life series, Disney's Infinity. I really had fun with that one, with the Star Wars stuff, obviously. Since relying on licensing its IP. Last year, CEO Robert Iger reiterated his beliefs that this is the best approach for the company, praising the good relationship with EA on the Star Wars games and adding, "We haven't been particularly good at the self-publishing side. Yeah, there have been a lot of dubs with Disney games." I just want to say quickly, yeah, this is probably a really good idea. They're like, hey, we're not comfortable with in-house productions. And we want quality over quantity, and this is just another way of showing, not telling, in the way that, example A, Spider-Man, Marvel's Spider-Man for PS4 and Jedi Fallen Order, both fantastic games, but both award-winning and money-making games, right? Huge successes. And Disney's like, okay, we actually understand that we shouldn't really get in the way of that process. So if you guys want to... And then, like, I'm just breaking it down here. They're saying, hey, if you guys want to make a game with our products, come see us. And we'd be open to actually forming a dialogue with that. Maybe smashing out some deals to get those games off the ground under your care, under the other company's care, the licensees' care, because they're the ones with the experience to make the games, not Disney in-house itself. So I reckon this is a really good, really smart step forward for the new Disney monolith. News number 5. The Division 2's new expansion will rev up the story and revamp gameplay. This is from Polygon.com. Tom Clancy's The Division 2 is getting a paid expansion called Warlords of New York, which will add a slew of new narrative content and major gameplay changes to Ubisoft's shooter. Hell yeah. The scope of these changes makes today's announcement, yesterday I believe it was, sound every bit as foundational as the original Destiny's The Taken King expansion, which changed the trajectory of Bungie's franchise and raised expectations for Destiny 2. Of course, fans won't know for sure if Ubisoft has met the mark until they arrive in Lower Manhattan on March 3. The main goal of the narrative campaign will be to discover and eliminate other rogue agents, affiliates of Kena, alluded to in several audio collectibles found in The Division 2. Ubisoft says that each agent will have their own unique backstory and will grant the player powerful new skills after they've killed. Those new skills appear to be just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to gameplay changes. Quote, "After taking the time to hear and gather community feedback," Ubisoft said, core gameplay enhancements have been implemented across various topics such as build diversity, gear streamlining, and even more meaningful loot. Changes will be made to the game's user interface and crafting systems, including modifications to weapon and gear recalibration. Ubisoft is also increasing the level cap from 30 to 40 and adding what it calls an infinite progression system. The expansion will also usher in a new era of seasonal content. Each 3-month-long themed event will introduce a new target for players to hunt, complete with additional narrative content and unique rewards. Awesome. Very awesome. Multiplayer will also be getting a revision. Dark Zones, contested areas that represent an extreme technical challenge for Ubisoft in the first game, were up and running on day one with The Division 2. But as it turns out, Ubisoft thinks that the rules for a higher level Dark Zone play might have been a bit too complicated. Pricing, and pricing for the DLC has not yet been released, but the content will launch simultaneously for PS4, Windows, PC, Xbox One. It will then arrive on Google Stadia's platform in late March, so maybe 2 weeks later. So it sounds like a really big overhaul for Division 2, which is interesting because it seems like a pretty successful game as it is. Especially after they've... this is a sequel to the original, which was quite successful in its own right? So, interesting that they're really focusing on trying to build it up even more so. But as again, as it said in the article, very Destiny 2 like, where they did... Oh, well, Taken King and then Destiny 2 where they just had a huge build-up and then on to the next sequel. Alright, so that's it for the main news points. But now we go on to the next segment that I like to call... That's right, I swear that's going to get changed sometime soon. But that's right, what's new on the notice board? Any other random little bits of information I thought would be pretty interesting to shout out. So, first one, because there was a couple of different ones here. DICE Awards happened, obviously, as I mentioned earlier. And... a lot of games got awards. I'll put a link down below of all the awards and stuff like this. This is from GameSpot. But I just want to give a shout out to Untitled Goose Game for getting Game of the Year at the DICE Awards 2020. That was a big surprise, but it did win some other things, so great. Outstanding achievement in game direction was Control. Portable Game of the Year, Sayonara Wild Hearts. Outstanding achievement in online gameplay, Apex Legends. Role-playing Game of the Year, The Outer Worlds. Adventure Game of the Year, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Fighting Game of the Year, Mortal Kombat, and there's others. So if you want to check out all of that information, I'll put a link down below. E3 is coming up in June, I believe it is. June? Yes, June. And I'll have to double check that. Correct me if I'm wrong. But they're saying, hey, these are the companies that are going to be showing stuff at our booths at E3. Activision always. Amazon Game Studios. That's one I have. I think they've only just kind of started coming into the field the last couple of years or something, I believe. I could be wrong about that. Bandai Namco, awesome, that's standard. Bethesda's coming back, so I wonder what they're going to be showing. Calypso Media I haven't heard of before. Maybe that's like indie companies. NC Soft. Sega, Square Enix, because they'll be pumping out Final Fantasy 7 stuff and maybe some more Kingdom Hearts stuff with that Remind DLC that came out recently. Take-Two is going to be there. Tencent, THQ Nordic, excuse me. Warner Brothers is going to be making an appearance, and they've been showing off little teasers, little tastes of this apparently Batman game that's going to be coming out. We'll just have to wait and see. In Xseed Games, I don't know that company, but I'm assuming it's one of the Xbox acquisitions. Oh, so before, hell, So Square Enix has put out some more press stuff for Final Fantasy VII Remake, and like a bunch of screenshots have come up. The full opening of Final Fantasy VII Remake apparently has been released within the last couple of days. But they've also showing off stuff like, different side missions and stuff like that. So I actually want to show some of these screenshots off to you, and this is Push Square as well. Okay, so yeah, we've got Tifa fighting here, which is really cool. And apparently you've got like this side quest going on. So, it's about the same. So we've got Charlie's report here, Chapter 3, Home Sweet Slum. That's really interesting. Rat problem, nuance in the factory, lost friends. It's going to be really interesting things. Now, pardon me. Now, this area and this area here looks very much like when in Crisis Core, if you've ever played that game, you actually run around in the slums in Sector 6 and do kind of little mini games and missions for some of the characters, and this guy looks very familiar. I could be completely wrong, and this guy looks very familiar too. It could be a different character design, I don't know, but here we go, and we've got so this is like a monster diary kind of thing, I guess. And, I love how it's called reports. That's very Kingdom Hearts. And yeah, I'm seeing some of this stuff for the first time. We've got some more Tifa doing her limit break attacks, so it's really cool. Red 13 in all his glory. What else we got? We got Cactor, however you want to pronounce it here, as a summon. And he's got like I believe it's like some kind of timer bar or a cooldown bar or something like that. Let's have a look at that. Oh, magnificent. So they've been training for a while, it seems, if they've got this much health. Yeah, really interesting stuff here. Cloud fighting with the baseball bat with a nail in it. That's going to be fun. So I'm really looking forward to that. I hope you are too. Batman has shown off his armor for this new The Batman with, what's his name? Robert Pattinson. So I think this is going to be like a year 0, year 1 type Batman where he is just building his armor and stuff like that. It's going to be interesting. I think the director was Matt Reeves or something. Let's have a watch, shall we? I'll put on my thing so I can hear it, because I heard there's some music to do with it. What's with this music? Bum 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 bum. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Oh, so that's the bat symbol. Apparently it's made from the gun that killed his parents, so that's really interesting. Oh wow. So it looks very rough, and kind of his armor moves in different ways and whatnot. But there you go, that's Robert Pattinson. The music... Okay, so the music to me sounded very, almost Imperial March, like a slowed down Imperial March, because like, okay, so here it goes, boom, 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 right? And that sounds very much like boom, 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 boom. So, what? Are they trying to secretly steal Star Wars music without getting copyright claimed? Yeah, so that was really interesting. That was really cool. Very... So it's, I'm not sure if that's going to be the whole tone of the movie, where it's like a very red and black thing. I'm like, that's a very bit too much Rogue One Darth Vader as well. But still, interesting. Very cool to look at. Alright, so that's it for all the news stuff-ish, I guess. All that random stuff. Now we go on to the final segment, games out this week. But I'm actually changing it up to games out next week, so we know what to be prepared for, to get excited for, okay? So, first off, Bayonetta and Vanquish, PS4, Xbox One. Hunt Showdown, PS4, Xbox One. Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue. That's a mouthful. On Xbox One, it's finally coming out. And I think sometime soon, I could be wrong, the whole story so far will be out on Xbox One as well. Or on the Xbox Store. Warzone 2100 on PC. Geo Rifters on the Switch. There's a lot of Switch games next week. Devil May Cry 3 Special Edition. Heck yes, that's coming out on the Switch. Blood Will Be Spilled on the Switch. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 Switch. Puyo Puyo 2. So that's Puyo Puyo Tetris or whatever it is. Katana Kami, A Way of the Samurai Story. This is on the Switch and PS4. So, Sword God. That's a really cool name. Dragon, or Drogon, I don't know how to pronounce that. PS4, Xbox One. Azure Lane Crosswave on the PS4. And Ailment on the Xbox One. So that's it for all the news today, guys. Thank you for sticking around for as long as you have. If you want any other expanded info on what I've said today, hit me up on the comments below or hit me up on any of my channels, right? Especially Twitter. I'm playing games on Twitch as well, on the gamification there. I'd love to see you, hear from you, come chat to me there. If you like any of this other content, please remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel. That will really help us out and push me to make more content. Which I've actually got a few things lined up, so I'm looking forward to it. I'll keep it a secret for now. I should also mention I'm going to be doing these news, games and movie news videos every fortnight now, because I like to accumulate a bit more news and talk about it. Unless there's like big news coming out that week, okay? But I look forward to it every 2 weeks, and yeah. And until then, guys, thank you very much. I will see you on the next video. End of line.